Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing a potential presidential matchup. I don't think this will be the matchup. I really, if it is, I'm going to be very surprised. But it's between Ron DeSantis, Republican governor of Florida, and Roy Cooper, the Democratic governor of North Carolina. I already have most of the safe states filled out. Not all of them, just the obvious ones. So let's. So I think that Roy Cooper is going to do very well with the black vote and get a lot of turnout from the. Do very well in the states with high black population, where Ron DeSantis is going to have the same benefit with the states with a high Hispanic population, like Florida, for example. Anyway, let's move on to the remaining safe states. I have Illinois and Colorado for Roy Cooper, and I have Montana, Missouri, Indiana, and Nebraska's first for Ron DeSantis. So that's it for safe states. Those are all the states that I think will be above 15% in terms of margins. Now for the states I think will be between 5 and 15%, the likely states. Let's start off with Ron DeSantis. He has a lot of these, actually. Kansas, no surprise there. I also don't really need to talk about Iowa. I really don't need to talk about Alaska. And now for the other safe states, I have Ohio, or not safe, likely states. I have Ohio. It's been a Republican trending state. Democratic Party has been doing worse and worse as of recently. As long as the Democratic Party, if they try really hard, they can make it lean. But it's probably going to be likely. Roy Cooper's not exactly a great candidate for the state of Ohio. Ron DeSantis really isn't either, but he would do well enough to make it likely, I'd say. Now for Maine second. Don't really need to explain this one. South Carolina, also don't really need to explain this one. Mississippi, I mean, high black population. Roy Cooper's going to do very well compared to most other Democrats in this state. The high black population, he's not going to win it, obviously, but he's going to get much more turnout from the black population, and he's going to just get a higher percent overall. So yeah, I do think that I think Mississippi will be likely. Now, I'm a little bit less sure about this one, but Louisiana, I think the New Orleans area having a very high black population could make it just barely fall down to likely. This state, it's getting bluer over time, I'll say, but also not. It's not really trending anyway. In any way, it's a state where the Republicans typically win by a safe margin. I think it will be likely this time, but can't be sure. Florida is the last likely Republican state I have. Ron DeSantis, I mean, he won by 0.4% here in 2018 in his governor's race. But he's a very popular governor. He's going to win by a lot more than that in 2022. And a large Hispanic population as well. Something that Ron DeSantis can do very well with, and Roy Cooper cannot. For Nebraska's 2nd district, I have as likely D. It could be lean. I doubt that it will be, though. I mean, it's trending blue pretty fast. So, I think Roy Cooper's going to hold on to the district. It probably won't be as blue as, what's it called? Joe Biden. I don't think it will be as strong of a margin as Joe Biden's. I think it will be under 6%, but still likely. Still above 5. Now for Maine at large, I think it will be likely. The Democratic Party has been... they typically win Maine at large, and this is no exception. It'll be by single digits. It'll be on the lower end of likely, but I don't really need to explain this one too hard. New Hampshire, I think, will be another likely D state. Again, it could be lean, but I don't think it will be. I just don't see a Republican candidate other than Chris Sununu on the presidential level who could do well in New Hampshire. It's a Democratic-leaning swing state that went for Joe Biden by 7 points in 2020. Roy Cooper is going to be able to... he's probably going to be able to make it at least 5%. Virginia, don't need to explain this one at all. New Mexico, it'll be on the lower end of likely for sure. I think that it will... I think it's due to the high Hispanic population. It's going to be on the lower end of likely, like 6, 7%, maybe 8. If the Democratic Party, if it's lean, then that's a pretty good sign that the Republican Party's going to win this election. But if it's not lean, if it's likely, it's probably going to be likely. I doubt it's going to be lean. I mean, New Mexico is a pretty strong Democratic state at this point. And that's it for my likely states. Now let's move on to Ron DeSantis' likely state, or lean states, between 1 and 5%. I think Texas will be around 3% margin for Ron DeSantis. State that's trending to the left very fast. It's lean. It's going to be lean in almost... Texas is going to be lean R in almost all of my predictions that come for 2024 in the future. So, yeah. I think it'll be around 3 points. Roy Cooper has that southern advantage. So does Ron DeSantis in a way. I mean, Florida and the rest of the South are completely different states. Texas, yeah, Ron DeSantis is going to win by a lean margin. His next lean state is going to be a flip. Nevada, large Hispanic population in Clark County, which is like 70% of Nevada's population, maybe even more. Typically a Democratic county, and it's what usually wins Democrats' elections in the state. And if, I doubt that it will be tilt, but it's definitely not going to be likely. So, yeah, that's it for Nevada. And the last lean Republican state, another flip, Wisconsin. Oh, whoa, wrong candidate. Wisconsin. It's trending Republican. It was only a 0.6 Biden victory. It could be tilt. I'll be honest, it might be tilt. But I think it's going to be lean. It's really just the state that's not favoring the Democratic Party anymore. So, Yeah, Wisconsin, lean Republican. Now for the lean Democratic states, I have 3 of these, and they will put Roy Cooper ahead of Ron DeSantis. I have the state of Georgia, large black population in the Atlanta metro area. It's that the higher turnout and higher percentage in this Atlanta area is really going to give Roy Cooper the edge. I think it'll be between 2 and 3% in Georgia. And here's a flip from 2020. North Carolina, I think, will go blue by a lean margin between 1 and 2.5%, I'll say. I don't think it'll be tilt. Usually when I say North Carolina, it's going to be lean D, which I've only said that once so far. But I say it could be tilt. I don't think so for this one. Roy Cooper is a popular governor of the state who won by, I think, around 5 points. He obviously won't do that well on the presidential level, as governor races are far more bipartisan, if I can speak, than presidential races. Like we see Massachusetts with this solid red Republican governor, 66% of the vote. And then we see Kentucky with a Democrat governor. So yeah, that's it for that's North Carolina. And now for next lean state, Minnesota I have as lean D. It's a state that's it's sort of trending Republican. Has the longest Democratic voting streak. Ron DeSantis isn't going to win the state, but I really don't think it's going to be that strong of a victory for Roy Cooper. He does well with, he has appeal to Minnesota voters, sort of. Minnesota's kind of like these 3 states, except for a lot bluer. I think Roy Cooper will win Minnesota by a lean margin. High lean. Could be likely if it's a strong year for Democrats, but I doubt it. Now for the tilt states, the ones that will decide the election, under 1%. I have Michigan as tilt Republican. I have... the reason I have Michigan as tilt Republican, I just don't think that Roy Cooper is going to be a good enough candidate for the state. Roy Cooper is a candidate for high black population and other southern states. And Pennsylvania, I think, will be lean or tilt Republican. I could be wrong about Pennsylvania. There's a large black population, but Roy Cooper really is not a great candidate for more Rust Belt-ish states. He's more of a good candidate for southern states, except for Florida. Well, then again, he could do better with Florida if Ron DeSantis is not the Republican. I don't think Roy Cooper could win Pennsylvania. And, if he does, that lands him in presidency. But I don't have him as winning it right now. I think really just depending on the kind of year it is will decide Pennsylvania. And for Arizona, the final state, I have as tilt D. Roy Cooper, I mean, it's a southern state that Roy Cooper... It's trending blue. It's a southern state. Roy Cooper does have the advantage. But Roy Cooper is not as strong of a candidate overall as Ron DeSantis. So I think that the state as a whole could go red, maybe. I could see this being an outcome as well. But I personally believe that Arizona will go blue, and Pennsylvania will go red. And this actually results in a 269-269 tie in electoral vote count. Pretty crazy. Let me know if you think that the matchup will be any different by margins. Maybe Ron DeSantis will win Arizona or something. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.